Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Jason with your hopium-free crypto channel. I have to say thank you very much to Blockfolio for the fantastic jumper here. In retrospect, it was inevitable, Blockfolio. Anyway, look at the day. We have seen Elon Musk tweet again and more movement down on Bitcoin. But if you've been following the channel for just even a few weeks now, you know what we've been looking at in terms of price targets, why this is happening on the charts, and how we can understand that the news comes second, even when it's posts that no one could have predicted. The trend is down, it wasn't going up, and every little piece that comes out just tends to push it down a little bit further. But we have major support levels that we look for to give us signs of bear market support, bull market support, trend changes. This is in the macro scale. And so a lot of comments, people are looking for, should we be selling? Should we be buying? All of this stuff, just calm down. It's all good. It's all good. Look, if you've got your own plan, then you need to stick to that plan. Don't listen to anyone online, even myself. If you have something that makes more sense to you, do that. But the way I see it and what I've been talking about on the channel, the way I'm playing it, what I talk about with my Investor Accelerator members is we're looking at Bitcoin as we've got a support, a 50% level support. Should we break down from that, then stuff gets a little bit more serious. If we hold, find some stability there, bounce back, we're good to go. So before we dive any further into it, make sure you've liked the video up. I'm in a new setting here, so just getting used to all of the sound and all this sort of stuff. We're back to a working week, so I can call on some sound and audio guys to get things a little better. But anyway, make sure you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel. We hit 150,000 just yesterday, so that's absolutely massive. Looking to go for 200,000 by the mid-year, June 30. Let's see if we can get to 200,000. We're going to look at a lot of the cryptos. I see your comments coming through here. So we'll look at some Ethereum, we'll look at some Solana, we'll look at some Cardano. I'll put a little post up. Let me close this. Ban Elon. No. All right, so let's look at all these things because, like I've got in the video, I've got questions. People are asking, are we going to crash further? I'm just going to turn this volume down. There we go. So, could Tesla sell all of its Bitcoin? What will happen to crypto if Tesla does sell all of its Bitcoin? Is the crypto bull market over? There's some of the main things that I've been seeing people really, like a lot of people asking that sort of stuff. I'll give away all of the guts of it early on. And the problem with doing that is because if you don't explain something and if you don't get this feeling of getting a whole lot of deep dive information as to why something should happen, then you tend to just brush over and you just say, that's not enough information. It's not deep enough for me to really understand. So that's the problem with just talking about it in 20 seconds, because really that's all I see when it comes to this. It's just a 20-second discussion, but the deal. You have, people have to feel like they have given some energy, they've given some time up to figure something out. Honestly, all I see this as is another news piece. If Tesla does sell all of its Bitcoin, how does that change Bitcoin? It doesn't change Bitcoin. All right, so it's basically just another piece of news along the journey of Bitcoin. That's it. So if Tesla sells all of its Bitcoin, sure, we'll get a price drop. Big deal. All right, 1 billion, 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, probably worth 2 billion now, something like that. You get a price drop. Big deal. Doesn't change Bitcoin fundamentally. It doesn't change whoever else is buying. I assume many noobs will probably freak out. Maybe some institutions might take a little bit longer to get in. Time is on our side. Then we just have a longer period in consolidation in around the 40 zones, or we start to creep up again into the 50s. Think about, I know many people weren't there back in 2020, but we had a low into 3,850. Then we went straight up into the 5,000s, the 6,000s, 7,000s, 8,000s, and we consolidated again. Think about that period. Although you haven't been through it, and now it could be no different. We could go sideways for a period of time. There's a lot of different options, but like we've talked about many, many times here. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, bell notification icon, so you can get an understanding of how the markets work, and it's not always just bouncing from one news piece to another news piece to another news piece. The news is interesting and fun, and if you can piece bigger macro pieces of news together, you'll get an idea of the like what we're looking at further down the track. But in terms of a day-to-day, it doesn't really mean jack shit. All right, that's pretty much how it works. People love news. They love to search, and news makes up for a lot of what people believe the market to do. That's how it always works. All right, have a look at some of your comments here. Sold everything but my soul to buy the BTC dip. I think Sol will do all right. We saw Sol have a bit of a drop as well, but that's everything. So that's one of the pieces here. I've got some notes that I want to make sure I cover as well. That's if we've covered what happens if Tesla sells its Bitcoin, right? That's what I see happening. It'll have a short-term impact on the market. It's an easy question, right? Is it going to be a long-term deal to the market, or is it going to be a short-term deal? And I think it's going to be a short-term deal, especially because of what is growing on the market, on the network, etc., and what's coming. All right, so that was it. Yes. So to answer that, could Tesla sell all of its Bitcoin? Sure, it could. It's in the tweets. We know that. What happens to crypto if this happens? Well, one market participant leaves, more will come. Eventually, they might come back. You just don't know. Is the crypto bull market over? I do not think so. Remember, we have some levels here. So that's really what it is. Buy zones for Cardano you want to see. We'll look at that. I've got here as well Cardano, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Solana, Chainlink. Josh, why would they dump the market then sell their Bitcoin? True. I don't think they're going to sell out here. Wyckoff theory shows BTC to fall over. Does it? All right, let's have a look at the chart and just bring up some of those levels. All right, so when I'm looking at the chart, I won't be able to see your comments, but let us know if you want to ask something. Obviously, there's super chats. You don't have to super chat, but the bigger the amount, the longer I can see it up on the screen. As I said, you don't have to, and I'll let you know when I'm back. I'm going to look at your comments. So I'm going to have a look at the chart now with you guys. 45,900. Make sure I got that on. Yep, cool. So this is the way trading works. If you've ever wondered, and if you're doing macro stuff, so if you're looking daily, weekly, daily's not really a macro trade, but in terms of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, especially when you're in a bull market, the daily can seem being as a macro view. Macro just means a bigger time frame and a bigger view of the market, whereas micro is like looking at a 4 hour, a 1 hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is underneath one day. So anything like that is a micro, and that doesn't call the market. Those small time frames do not call the market long term. They are just intermediate moves. Okay. That's just really learn that. If you're watching other channels or listening to Twitter, anything under those timeframes does not give the market a major move. It all plays into each other, and they all start to turn like cogs. 15-minute will show a sign. 1 hour will show a sign. The 4 hour will show a sign. The 1 day will show a sign. The 1 week will show a sign. That's how it works. And then it works back the other way. So you've got big setups, and you can move down to the smaller timeframes to get a closer entry to the market. That's how it all works together. So this is what we've been looking at for the last few weeks. And as I said, this just becomes like a broken record, and it has to become boring. Otherwise, you have too much emotion playing around, and it's just like, what do I do next? What happens? So-and-so is tweeting this, etc. This is how I stay stress-free, or stress-free as possible, because you have a plan and you can understand what's going on in the markets here. We were looking at probably from about, we knew it from the 18th of April. We're now the 17th of May. We're getting a close on the 1 week chart coming up in about 20 minutes. So we'll have a look at the 1 week as well. But from the 18th, that was our major change in trend. And on the channel, we put a video out on the 18th, just before this massive breakdown, looking at 3 days down as being a rule. This has to come from a major top. It doesn't come from anywhere else in the chart, but a major top, it tends to happen there that we get a longer period down. Then we're looking at it all through here for the last 3 to 4 weeks, or say 3 weeks, 60,000, this top is the level that we needed to hit for strong bullish confirmation, where everyone is buying dips here at 53 and 55 and all this sort of stuff here. They don't understand what they're looking at on a chart. All they do is see a dip and buy, and then they see a dip and buy. This is what I'm looking for to get me a better dipping point and a better buy entry. That's it. So this all comes from Wyckoff theory. I have been looking at it for the last few years. Gann theory, I've been looking at for the last 10 years, and it just comes from studying that. So if you want to learn more and understand this, get stress-free on the markets, and basically learn how to invest, start studying those things. I don't know a specific book that you could use in terms of Wyckoff. I'm reading a few now. I do have one that I mention that is called Trading in the Shadows of the Smart Money. That helps out a hell of a lot. So spend your time doing that rather than flicking around to different YouTube channels and Twitters and all this sort of jazz. So back to the market. So we're going down. We're heading down. Now, the thing we look for here is the volume. So we'll use April as an example. Big day down, big volume. Another big day down, but the volume's getting less. And I don't have colored candles, all right? That's just a default that TradingView uses. White bars, that's what I've changed them to so I can clear out the noise. There's less noise. Oh, we lose the volume. Then this was the low that had the lowest volume. So all the selling pressure had been exhausted by this point here. By the 25th of April, all the selling pressure has been exhausted. So the market has to then go up because no one is left selling. But we find ourselves starting to top out at around 58K. The market couldn't get above 58K and hold. We had one day on the 8th of May, but the volume was dropping off here. We're looking at Bitstamp. Volume is dropping off, which means the buyers aren't coming in to support the market going higher, regardless of whatever news is out there, whatever tweets you've been reading, all that sort of nonsense, okay? So that's what it looks like here. Even the news is there to confuse people. That's what it's there. It's designed to do. It throws you in one direction, then pulls you in another and goes in another. Some people say that about YouTube titles, mine as well. But I'm trying to get that so that you can come in and see, and then basically see what is actually going on. Maybe even get bored with the markets. Now, this is all that's been happening. I've been waiting on a signal. It didn't come. Okay, I'm probably going to head a bit lower. I thought maybe we might get a buyback here. This was a little bit of a trick. Big volume, we moved up, and then we didn't get the push through, the follow through that we're expecting or hoping for, and we got a fall. We crashed back through this low, this low, this low, and it took out the 53K support level, which meant we had to go back and test these levels in the 40s. And we've hit the 40s on one high volume and then dumped again. Today we've got 15 minutes left, and we might be looking at this sort of structure here. So we had big volume, more big volume, and then the final low was on low volume, meaning all the selling had been exhausted. And that generally comes at the end of a trend. And especially like a day like today, when there's a lot of emotion running high in the market, we have a big high news event. Thank you for the super chats. I see them up there. I'm just clicking backwards and forwards. I see Telcoin. That comes up so much. I don't understand. It just seems like a bit scammy how often it comes up. Sorry, maybe we'll have a look. Okay, so back to this. All I'm saying here is we're seeing the volume drop off, meaning there is less selling activity than what we saw on this down bar here. I'm not saying that this is a low, but in terms of timing it, and as I've said in the title of the video, what do I call it? Urgent crypto crash update. Elon Musk and Tesla threaten to crash Bitcoin again. Buy zones. So looking at the buy zones, okay? Now, I've had this level for quite some time. You can go back and check all of the videos. I just sit it on the chart and leave it there. My 50% level, so this one here, the macro time frame, is at around 41K. The 100% of this move is at around 41K as well. 41.7, the other one's 41.3. It's all rough. It doesn't have to hit the exact dollar, but it's just to give us a roadmap. And that's my next level. So should we not get there because the ranges might be contracting, meaning we've dumped, say, 100%, and now the next dump is only 78% or 80%, meaning that there is less selling pressure coming into the market, then we might get a reversal here. So the point I'm making is buying at here, like buying zones 46K, which is what I specifically talked about back here and had that sitting on the chart, my buy level. Don't move that. This little, I can't click it. Anyway, it's no big deal. You can see my buy levels around 46K. Not a bad place to buy, because if it falls further, you're never going to catch the absolute bottom, okay? Relax. You don't need to get the absolute bottom. But I think we have a possibility of coming back to these highs here, maybe around that 39K level for a brief moment, maybe 40K, something like that. 41K is where I'm looking, but we happen to spike down there. It wouldn't surprise me, which allows me to feel stress-free in what I'm doing here, what I'm buying and selling. So that's why I've got those levels there. And it's only 13%. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin can double, triple, quadruple from this point. And so I'm not that phased about missing out on a 13% move and getting some good Bitcoin at mid 40s, as opposed to not buying these tops because I'm sort of freaking out, or buying these next dips when it's just like, let's buy every single dip that happens, and you sort of run out of funds. I wasn't as happy to buy. I mean, I didn't buy them, and I said I didn't even buy here, even though this was not a bad dip as well. This was the better dip to buy, and then you just have to wait. You have to be patient. And even when you see this happen and it's a few grand lower, personally, I don't like the thought of, sitting out and, selling out and then trying to get back in just to save a few bucks. It's honestly not worth the headache and the headspace. So that's the buy levels that I'm looking at, 41K. And that's the macro zone there, the 50% level from this low here, which is major weekly levels. So this is a small swing before we broke the all-time highs. Then this is the major all-time high that we've had. We're just measuring this range. 50% comes out at around 41K, 41.5. And it also lines up with the old tops, the first move out of the all-time high. So a lot of price cluster areas where you could expect some good solid support. Now, this week we've seen big move down, all in one hit, all in 1 week. Look at what happened back in 2017. We covered all of this. These are all 50% levels. Everyone loves to look at the 20-week moving average because it's an easy indicator for a lot of people just to throw on their chart and they don't understand what the hell is going on. But you got to do a little bit of work sometimes. And when you learn how to use these things, it makes life a hell of a lot easier. So this week here, this was the first move out. We had a 1100 high. Top here was around 3K. Kind of similar to what we got now. 20K to 60K. You get the ratios. This is looking good. Then we had big move down, scared everyone, massive volume. 1-2 weeks sideways, another week up, just pushed up. And then we had a scare week where it just pushed us right down. Then the next week reversed. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks down, a reversal week on huge volume, took out all of these highs. Then the market's back on. You missed the low, don't miss this next signal. All right. And then from that point at around that $2,800 level, rest is history. All right. These are just similar patterns. They don't have to work exactly the same, but it's just to understand some of the patterns that are going on here and to look at volume and how the market reacts to the support and resistance levels on volume as well. So should we happen to have a bounce off this 41K, it shoots all the way back, takes out this region. Look at all these closes here. I'll put it on candle so you can see a bit better. See this 59, 56 to 58, 59 level. You can see a lot of closes and it just couldn't get above that level. If we take all of those out, the market's back on. We close strongly above that. The market is well and truly back on. All right. I'll take a rest off the chart just for a moment. I've answered a lot of those questions there in terms of Bitcoin, what I'm seeing, what happens next, what happens if Tesla drops, what happens about the news, what happens about the tweet, etc., etc. Maybe I will just show the tweet so that we've got it in the stream, and then I'll come back to your, what do you call them? Super chats. Screen share. Elon Musk threatens to dump all of Tesla's Bitcoin holdings, pushing BTC to multi-month low. Here's the tweet. Bitcoin is going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate it's getting, wouldn't blame him. Indeed, So that's all Elon had to write. People are getting all triggered and stuff about Elon's tweet. Like, it blows my mind. Anyway, it's just people, they need something to talk about. Like I said, we need news to talk about because people search news and you got to talk about something. If you just sort of sit to a chart, makes life a lot easier and stress-free, to be honest. And I didn't understand this when I first got onto YouTube. I was just like, why is everyone freaking out about this? Just follow the chart, or just have your plan and relax about it. And then I figured out, oh, that's right. Because if you don't keep talking about the news, and this is the tricks of YouTube, if you don't talk about it, you don't hit the keywords, you don't get the searches, you don't get the views, and you stay at the bottom. And so a lot of the good channels that are like giving a lot of good content, they don't hit these keywords and get all this, they don't get trending in the search because they're not hitting the key stuff. And that's the system that YouTube uses, obviously, to get more views, and that increases their ad revenue. You know, that's what they want at the end of the day. Old man, you're wrong on this. Elon deserves all. I don't honestly, I don't think so. You're wrong. This guy has too much power. I mean, who gave him the power? If you don't listen to his tweets, what's going to happen in the market? Like, if there was another person with 50 million followers, like, yeah, it's just, it's we're the ones listening and we're the ones reacting to it. All right, please share your thoughts on a quick TA of 1. And Licky, thanks for all you do. Do not just the TA, but you're level-headed too. Okay, thank you, Benki. $20. Massive super chats. All right, so I'll look at a 1, and then we'll come back to these things. Thank you for the super chat. I'll respect that and get to 1. I know some of the guys were saying I missed them last time. We're coming up to weekly close. 1 is attempting to get back above, or to get back into its zones before it began its fall. Let me just get this on bars, candles. Here we go. Okay, so big volume on yesterday, and we had a good close above these highs. So even if you don't like Harmony 1, don't worry. Just use the TA and look at the charts and see if you can see some similarities on this, and use what you're seeing on your charts or on your cryptos that you follow. So we had big volume bounce off the 50% level. We hit the 61%, so that's the 61% down. This is not measured like this. Like that's not how you measure it. It measures the range, which essentially is 1, is almost 0 anyway, because Harmony 1 came from next to nothing. Let's move that and move this to the top. It bounced high volume. Today's bar has reversed. So I think it's been scared by the market. So that's why I don't always just look at the dollar values. I want to see their Bitcoin values. And look at this. The Bitcoin value is holding stronger. That was the next piece, and I've mentioned it in previous videos. So make sure you subscribe, like the channel up. If you want to learn more, join the newsletter down below. We've got a free newsletter that you just have to click the link and join the newsletter. That's it. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, we put out a free newsletter talking about, oh, sorry guys, yeah, you're right, can't see the charts. Don't worry, I'll explain it all again. It's very quick. Very easy, very easy. So this is the Harmony 1 BTC chart, and it's looking stronger than the Harmony 1 dollar chart. Do this for your cryptos and you'll figure it out too. See the USD, the market has moved up above its previous high level that got rejected, and now it's back under it. We're about to close in 5 minutes. This is the weekly chart, and the daily as well is obviously going to close. It's back under those levels. But if you look at Harmony 1 BTC, it's well above these levels, and it's going to close above these levels. So that's stronger. It means it's doing better against Bitcoin. Generally, the end of the bull market, we saw altcoins, end of 2017 bull market, in early 2018, we saw altcoins go up against Bitcoin for that last month or so, 6 weeks, and then they all fell away together. If the altcoins are still holding their ground against Bitcoin value, that leads me to believe that we still have more in the tank. And if they're losing their value against their US dollar value, that's only because Bitcoin is going down, because Bitcoin is ranked against the US dollar. All the other cryptos are ranked against Bitcoin and the US dollar. If they're holding their ground against Bitcoin, I believe many people don't see this as like that. It's not a risk to them to be holding this crypto, But if they happen to fall below their Bitcoin levels, some support levels, then they're seeing a risk in that crypto and in Bitcoin. So that looks like it's a little bit riskier in the space altogether. All right, so I hope that explained Harmony One, and you can use that across any other charts. Nathan Dodds, hey brother, sent. All right, just going back to your super chats. Aussie 7.99 sent a $14 super chat about Coty and Anchor. Would love your unique perspective. Coty, I think I've only looked at this once. Coty, Tether. See, it looks like a similar setup to Harmony One. We're getting some higher low and higher highs. Let's draw some lines on here for you. There's a high, there's another high, big volume on the breakout, push above these levels. Close was good as well. And then we have a low formed at around 6 cents. And then the next low is formed at around 31 cents. So higher lows. That's a good sign to, markets bullish. Let's see if I can get any other support levels through here. See, that's not too bad there. We're at least following a trend. Looks like we're reaccumulating in these zones. We got some good volume on the low as it pushes out, another push, and we just didn't get any lower. So it looks like the selling was exhausted. The buying was exhausted here. And this is what happens in an accumulation zone. You keep ranging because you get some sellers that come in, drop the price back down, buyers come back, and the buyers get higher and higher. And that's a good sign. Coty, Bitcoin, Coty. And see, this is the same thing as Harmony One. It's much higher and it hasn't come back into its previous high zone. See this? It came back into its previous high zone on the dollar, which just means Bitcoin's weaker. While we're here, let's look at ADA. Look at this. ADA is actually up on the day. 2 minutes to go on the close. We hit $2.51 overnight. And where are we at? Yeah, $2.30 on the close. That's crazy. And you saw on the other cryptos that they were lower on their dollar value, but I would suspect ADA BTC is having a fantastic day. Here's the next resistance level at 51,000, which, where are we? Come on. Yep, lines us up with these previous lows back in 2017, 2018. That's why I have that resistance level there. See support, kind of support, a little more support because it bounced and the closes were above it, support, and then it broke down. So that's a critical level. That 51,000 Satoshis, critical level for ADA. On the dollar, it's doing very well. Cool. That was good. Coty. I haven't really looked at Coty. All right, what do we got next? Oh yeah, you guys want to have a look at the weekly moving average, the lagging indicator, the best lagging indicator we have. Let me use this chart. I think there's a little less drawings on here. Oh. There we are. Yeah, we're closed under it. We will close under. So the weekly move average is at 48,500. We'll get a close under this. I think that's just doing enough to fool us because everyone looks back to 2017, right? And we never got a close under the 20-week moving average. And the only time it did happen was at the end of the bull market, which was pretty late into the move. But what do we have here? 2013. Oh, this chart doesn't have it because it's Bitfinex. Now I'll use Bitstamp. This is the first boom in 2013. Ran straight up, very illiquid at the time. So you have massive ranges of $259 down to $45 in a week. Came sideways, dropped under, a couple of closes, got some, look at the deal here again. Same deal, good volume. That was the low. Big volume on the high, tried to buy back, big volume on the low, got bought up again at $70, and the rest is history. Back to $1,163 was the top, at least on Bitstamp. So we got a few closes as we started to make our way back. So maybe we'll get something like this. We just start to range underneath it. Oops, leave that there. The next thing I want to look at is the 2019 move. Now, this isn't the same because we're in all-time high territory now, whereas 2019 was kind of just like a first big move out of this accumulation zone where all of the selling just dried up. No one was looking at it here. It was Bitcoin was dead. Look at the ranges. Really just come to have a look at what these were. This week in February was $400. Barely hit $400 for the week. Then in April, we got a shootout and it was, $1,300. May, this time 2 years ago, we're the 17th. So somewhere around here, we were $8,000 2 years ago on massive volume, breaking out again, a little recovery, and it took off again. So 2 years ago, we're at 8K. Now we're at 45K. Let me come back. Savage JZA 80. What's ZAR? I don't know what ZAR is. I'll put your comment on the screen. XRP. Who's interested in XRP? Let's have a look at XRP. We got Bitcoin 46,500. We've just had the weekly close. It closed at 40 on Bitstamp 46,444. So the next thing I want to look at on that, I'll get to XRP, but just let's have a look. The low on the 19th of April was 47,000. So we did close below the most recent low. So that was the low there. So I think maybe we're going to see a little bit lower prices. We have seen the volume increase on this week. I'm not saying tomorrow or in the next hour we're going to see lower prices, but I suspect we'll probably test. Now that we're here, why not have a drink with this price over here at 43K? Why not test it? We're here. We're this close. Let's test it. That's it. That's the way I look at the market. XRP, okay. $1.43. What happened on XRP? When did that get to 30 cents? Poloniex, no wonder. No liquidity. All right. $1.62. We had a close at $1.45. It looks okay. Look at the closes here. This closed above this area here. So we're getting higher supports. It's just taking time because Bitcoin is lagging. But once Bitcoin comes back, these things will go crazy. Or if Bitcoin finds stability, these things will go crazy as well. Against the BTC chart, I'm only on Bittrex. I know it's not the best exchange, but it has all of the history, whereas a lot of the other exchanges don't have all of the history. I'm going to take the moving average off. See? That's it. Yeah, look at that on BTC, XRP. Solid close, very solid close on the weekly chart above all of the previous highs. It's had the highest close it's had since December of last year when XRP started to go crazy. So this thing will keep going. I put XRP in a previous video as well about where the Dogecoin profits might go. These coins are loved by retail. Dogecoin's loved by retail. XRP is loved by retail. So we've seen that. We are seeing that now. XRP USD. See, that's holding its ground in the dollar sense against Bitcoin value. Again, much stronger against Bitcoin right now. Look at that. That's crazy. That's good. Oops, that's done. Cardano buy zones. We closed above exponential moving average. Another favorite of our lagging indicators. Let's have a look. All right, I'll go to, we looked at Cardano. We have looked at Cardano. Do I have my exponential up here? No. EMA setup. 20. Do you want 20 or 21? I'm on Bitfinex. Maybe that's the problem. Because it's closed below it on this. 47,000, 46,600. Bitstamp. No, Bitcoin. Let's just look at it against Tether. Yeah, on Binance. No, it's below it on Binance as well. But it's very close. It's much closer than the other chart. I'll just use Bitstamp right here. Bitstamp. Which exchange are you looking at that on? All of mine are showing that it closed below the. Did you say 21? 21's going to make it lower than that. I'll come back and have a look at your questions. I'm probably sitting. Okay, 21. Yep. Okay, so the 21 EMA is at 46,400. Oh, we closed 30 something dollars, $28. I don't know. You know, like you can just curve fit that now. So I had to curve fit that to the 21 EMA on the weekly. Personal opinion of ETH by the end of the year. So guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon, and like the video up if finding some value from it. Reason I'm saying that is because looking at these sorts of questions, this is throughout all new investors. They look for prices at end of insert time frame, end of 2021, end of May, end of June, whatever. This, to me, is the wrong way to be looking at a market. You don't look at prices by the end of a time period. If you're asking that, I assume, one, you might have to pay for something at that point in time and just to have some sort of time frame in mind so that you can sell out. What I look for, well, that was one, that's all I can think of. What I look for is time frames themselves. So I count ranges. We have done from the bottom to the Bitcoin top 57 weeks. Now, from that, I then divide those time frames up, divide up into 50%, 25%, Gann numbers and fib numbers. And we do that with price, which price is vertical, time is horizontal. So you divide those sections up. So we have 57, we project 57 weeks from the top, divide those up. So then I look for a time period of, say, 25% from that last time period, 50% from that time period. This is all Gann theory, and it works. It works just like the price theory works. It's not a exact science. Well, Gann knew how to use it as an exact science. I'm not that good. I have not studied 60, 50 years, whatever he did, and he was full-time into the charts, drawing them. Read about this guy. There's really fascinating stuff. Greed and fear chart. Oh, that would probably be spicy, wouldn't it? All right, I'll get that up in a sec. You can't see it, I know. Well, fear. Yesterday was okay. We've changed over now. Extreme fear. All right. Let's close. I'll just get your super chats. Then I'll open up that chart as well. Standing its own against big BTC drops. Yeah, a lot of the cryptos are standing. Tony Wolf, thank you. Yeah, crypto fear and greed is at 27. That's all you really need to know. Yesterday was 20. Now it's 27. So we're starting to climb, yet we're seeing lower prices. So that's almost like your own RSI on the using price and then fear and greed as well. You see the price is going down, but the fear is leveling out. There's a divergence, essentially. All right. Let us know if I've missed any of your super chats. Adam, $5. San Diego, ADA dipped to $2 this morning and now it's back at $2.30. Looking to buy again. At what range would you recommend on the next pullback? Well, I would say that was the pullback. Like if I saw another pullback, I would think that we're probably going to be a little bit weaker. I don't want to see a pullback after a pullback because too many pullbacks weakens the move. So now we're strong on ADA. Monday. We did see that, didn't we? Let's have a look at the hourly chart. I don't have the chart up. I know. I don't want to get distracted from what we're doing. Okay, so yeah, just about 4 hours ago, we saw it dip to $2, and now we're back at 230. Cool. Wouldn't just keep waiting. Like, what was the why wait? Why did you miss it? If that's what you're thinking about your own. Oh, you guys are saying it's 21 EMA. All right, I see your comments. Cool. Yeah, if you're asking about price ranges, what stopped you from buying at $2 and why are you asking for another one? Telcoin. Telcoin. This is not going to surprise me if it looks like a massive pump. All right, so yeah, we've seen big pump, We're sideways. Maybe we, all right, Telcoin, you want to see it hold 3.5 cents around that level there. 3.5. You get a spike down, then a close above, great. But if it breaks down from that, I suspect we're going to have to fill in this zone somewhere between 2 cents and the 3.5 cent level. So currently at 4. So we had a big spike out of here, and now we are dropped. I suspect this is going to be somewhere around the 50% level. You can sort of see that. See, this is why the 50% work pretty well. Very, very well. Here's a low. It's next to nothing. This is the one I want. Look at that. Bounced off the 50%. Very nice. Cool. So far, so good. That's the level I'll be looking for. Otherwise, probably get a breakdown until it reaccumulates. Count the time frames. Look how long this took. It spiked out, came down, took some time, reaccumulated, then it took off again. You know, count those time frames there. Charles is going to be the face of crypto. I don't know. I doubt it. ETH. We all love some ETH. ETH USD 3,500. All right, so ETH, we were looking at this as a top. I thought this might, if it wanted to have one more run, this was going to be the lows to hold it up. I'm on Bitstamp. This was going to be the low to hold it. All right, so now Coinbase. They're at 3,500. See the volume came in here. We've broken that now, so I suspect we're going to come back to this 2,800 level. Pretty crazy. BTC is having a pullback. What the hell? Bitfinex. Look at the volume on that. So, yeah, that's my 50% level of 2,800. I'm going to have to bring it up and see if we had a closer 50% hit already. No, so the closer 50% is around 3,200. And I'm using that because this was a major level here, these lows at $2,000, because that was what springboarded us into the 4,300 level. So my first target is 3,200 as a buy, and then the next target is around 28. Should it miss those and it just falls short at 29 or 33, so be it. But that's the roadmap at this point. So it's now coming back and it's testing these old highs before it took off. And these highs were pretty strong. You had this massive volume here that peaked down into 31. So we could come back and test that area. We're not far off it now anyway, about 10%. So if you are in the market for Ethereum, be on alert now. The difference between where we are now and the targets that I like is 10%, and where's 28? 20%. So been 10 and 20%. From the top, it's a saving of around 26%, 27%, and about 35%, which is fine. We even looked at 36% drop on ETH, which brings us to 28, which gives us more price clusters. So we got a percentage drop of 36%, and I'm using 36 because I believe it was a few of these were 36. Look at that, dead on 36% on this drop, and this drop. This was a major drop as well. So you've got to be looking at the major drops, not just any old drop. Look at that, dead on 36%. Again, maybe it's 37. You get the deal. This was a major springboard platform as well before we took off. So those were a fantastic area at the 350 level to keep buying ETH. We're now 10 times that level. Pretty interesting. And so 36% drops us back down to the 28 level as well. That will then line us up with our major 50% here. We've got our semi-minor 50% using this springboard at 32. So anywhere in that 28 to 32 region, I'm still very, very bullish on ETH, but don't expect it to then jump back to 5K the next day, the next week. Remember these timeframes that we are measuring. If not, go and check out the videos on the channel. I go through all of these timeframes and how to expect those. We've seen 10 weeks into this high. So it's shortening. 73 days, about 10 weeks. I'm just updating my charts, and this is all I do. I just measure them, and it gives me an idea of where we're at. that's why I'm not measuring what's the price at the end of June, what's the price at the end of 21st. That's irrelevant. All of that stuff is completely irrelevant. This is what you want to measure is timeframes. It did about 6 to 7 weeks from top to breakout. It's done 10 weeks from bottom to top. And so I can get an idea of, okay, how long is the fall going to be? Oh, I'll just measure this. I'll measure the other falls. That'll give me an idea of how long it usually falls for. Then it'll give me an idea of how long the market generally accumulates for, and then an idea of how long the market shoots up for. So once I've got those ideas, then I'm stress-free when I'm trading and investing. So BTC for Sol and 1 to gain says before I move back. This is part of your plan. I don't know what your plan is. You're saying you're selling Bitcoin for Sol and Harmony 1. It depends what your plan is. That's really what these things come down to. And I've got plenty of videos on the channel to explain how to identify your levels, what suits you. In terms of a plan, I like the idea of having altcoins to increase my Bitcoin pots, which is why I talk about Ethereum, because I find that as one of the safest bets. Cardano has definitely been one of the safest bets as well. So let me know, did that make sense, what I'm talking about when I'm measuring timeframes? You can use this across any market, not just cryptocurrency. This is for stocks. This is for anything. If you want to go full time into this, then it helps a hell of a lot. You can use all of that across any market. And I use that in property as well. Property cycles are big. Ethereum uses too much energy. I mean, maybe. What do you think about LTC and KCS? Pete Burra. LTC, I think, has been extremely bad lagging crypto. It has not performed, and it hasn't even had a pump like everything else. Shiba for a quick buck. I put 400. The brother, thank you for the $5 super chats. I put $400 because I could, and even though it's down, I'm still in profit 2x. Good stuff. Congrats on your profit. Just stay in profit. Protecting your profits. That's the biggest thing here. Protecting your profits. If you're going to protect your profits, you're going to do well. Majority of people talk about their gains on paper. So they haven't actually sold out to make any gains, and then they can watch the market go completely against them. Just keep that in mind as well when you see a lot of these things that come out and it's like, oh, such and such put in $15 into Shiba or whatever, and now it's at millions of dollars. They're probably not going to lose on their $15, but it's not always as big as what it's made out to be. EOS, I don't think it's going to do very well long term. I could be wrong. This is the market cap. It's peaking. I think I have EOS here. EOS, $10. Yeah, I think this sort of pumped on some of the news. They got 10 billion together to make an exchange. Maybe they'll do okay. I just haven't followed them for a long time. Their BTC value has skyrocketed, but it's still a long, long way off these levels. Nearly got to 1% of Bitcoin's value. But here we are. Now, like, it's not a Cardano. That's like, it's not believed to be like a Cardano, because Cardano has actually gotten close to its all-time high against its BTC value, whereas EOS is still down this far. Not to say that it can't do it, and I guess that's the belief for some people, is that whenever you see a chart, go and look at a chart for starters. When you see this, people think, oh, but it's so far off the all-time high, it can get back there. It's like, what's the reason that it has to get back there? There's no reason apart from your belief. Cardano is getting closer. Game players, $5 super chat. Super chat here. Big thank you for your content. Keep up the good work. Go Ada. Excellent. Cool, guys. Make sure you've check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I will do a couple of questions on Instagram today. So did I leave that here? No. So yeah, follow on Instagram. If you haven't already, there's a link to that in the description. Twitter as well. I can update you on charts so much quicker than coming on live. So make sure you're following on Twitter. What else have I got? Subscribe, like the video up. I don't know if you've liked it yet. Newsletter, follow the newsletter. It's free. So if you want to see more of this stuff, learn how to trade and invest, follow the newsletter, free. Down below, link to that. Blockfolio, that's what I'm wearing. All thanks for the sweater. And that's what I use to track my portfolios as well. So you can see my super fund, my retirement fund. I post that on Instagram. So check that out on Instagram. SwiftX. If you guys are trading, that's the Aussie exchange that I use. SwiftX, link to that is in the description. What else do you like to know? Trading View, I use that. The link to that is in the description down below. The Investor Accelerator, if you want to learn more, if you want to go that next step, link to that is down below as well. Matic, Ricky is helping all the Matic guys out. What do you think of Matic? I'm going to put that on the screen if I can find it. There we go. Let's have a quick look at Matic. $1.72, new all-time highs. While Bitcoin is dropping. Yesterday we didn't get a new all-time high, but we had a higher close. Matic on the BTC, higher close. Volume is lessening-ish. Well, it is less than it was yesterday, and it closed higher. So I think it'll weaken out here. Maybe it'll peak to like 4,000 and start to have a little bit of a pullback. It looks due. It definitely looks due for some sort of pullback. Oh, you're hitting up the big super chats. Good on you guys. Where are we at? Chainlink. I did say Chainlink, didn't I? So a quick $40. See, Chainlink is getting hit a little bit harder than I would like. I'm going to move this to the new all-time high, which is at $54. Yep, $54.40. 50% is back at $31, but I know it doesn't generally go to the 50s unless it's a big one. See, it went to 50 here. Just missed the 50 here. And now we're not too far off the 50. So if we move back into 34, it still wouldn't panic me. Blink BTC. Link BTC is still strong. Look, we've hit our 100%. We're having a bit of a pullback here. That's fine. We pull back a little bit to maybe the 74,000 level. This is why it's important just to follow the BTC pairing as well. Check out the newsletter. We talk about that free down below. Follow the newsletter. Get your newsletter once every 2 weeks and follow me on Twitter as well. I post this stuff on Twitter. The next level, if we were to pull back, then I'd have to readjust this fib. This is a different fib, different way to use that fib. Alasdair Bosky. Thank you, $5. Thank you. Thinking of selling out profits on ETH and focusing on ETH and DOT and ECOS might be a potential go. Just depends. What are you trying to achieve? Ask yourself that. Check out the exit strategy video and check out, I think it's the 1 to 100,000 video. I've got a couple of videos there in the new to Bitcoin playlist. Check those out and they'll have a lot of questions. You can watch it and go through all those questions there. All right, Spout, 20 Canadian dollars, probably similar to the Aussie dollars. My portfolio, ETH, ADA, DOT, and VET, still in good profits. Am going to hold. Is it good plan? What is your goal? That's what I ask every time. What is your goal? Everyone's saying sell. It's a good plan depending on what your goal is. What are you trying to achieve? You can't just say more money. Write this shit down. Otherwise, you will end up back where you started. That's just the laws of the universe. If you don't have a plan, it churn you up, spit you back out. If your plan is to, what did you say, double, you're in good profits. I don't know what good profits is. You might have $100 and think $300 is good profits. You might have 100 grand and be in 300 grand. You know, don't tell me. I don't need to know. But have a point in mind, stick to it, and work to that plan. Once you've gone through a plan, you can then look back on the plan and figure out, was it what I wanted? Did I achieve more or less than I could have? Could I have done better? And then you can readjust the plan for the next hit. And unless you have that, you'll be bouncing around all the time. This is why the markets still work, because the vast majority of people do not plan. They buy something, they hope for something else, market falls against them. They don't know why they should be selling out. They don't know why they should be buying. They lose all their profits again to someone else who has a plan. And so those people take all the profits and they start to plan again and again, and they just take more and more profits. That's why the rich get richer and the poor remain poor. There's other reasons as well, I know, but generally speaking, if you can plan some stuff out, you know you can hit some good goals. Good question, though. See, like these guys might just be joining the stream. Sassanid Empire. When's the best time to buy more ADA? What does your plan say? Or watch the videos, and I can help you understand how to plan and see some different things in the chart so that you know when is a good time to buy, rather than just asking a random dude on the internet. Why trust me as well? You know, who can help with a plan? YouTube can definitely help with a plan. Check out some of the videos I have under the playlist Bitcoin for Beginners or New to Cryptocurrency. I think it's the first playlist that you'll see on the homepage, and you'll see that I've got on one side of the screen. Yeah, one side of the screen, I'll have a lot of questions written out, and I'll have you answer those questions, and that can start to develop a plan for yourself. So that is the first guiding help that I can give on the plans. Reef was looking okay. I haven't looked at it in a while. Just look at the price. I know I don't have the chart up. I'm just going to look at the price here. It's at 4 cents. Yeah, it's still just an accumulation zone. Reef BTC is actually climbing again, so it's looking okay. What is your plan? My plan is to keep holding. I'm still holding. Just seeing this, you do technical analysis videos. Yes, technical analysis. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. You got a few more seconds, questions, like the video up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You got my Instagram Q&As. I've got a live question over there. You can go and ask on the Q&As. Twitter, that's got a lot of stuff over there as well. Newsletter, free newsletter. You can sign up to that. Link is down below. If you don't like it after one edition, unsubscribe. Easy done. Blockfolio, SwiftX if you want to be trading. Yeah, that's all the good stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Share it with someone if you think they can find some value from this. $5 from Coin Bixty. Thoughts on Terra long-term after the bull run? Cash App integrating Anchor protocol along with the Alice protocol seems to be a sleeping giant. Terra probably okay. I think Terra's on the that's Terra Luna on the Cosmos ecosystem blockchain, Cosmos SDK. Seems to be all right. Does your subscription help? It does help. Yes. And you're with a group of traders and investors as well. The course itself goes through trading, everything that I talk about here on the channel and on the live streams, looking at those different levels, what I'm looking at in terms of accumulation, using fibs. And then there are extra courses that are being built out all the time. So that looks at stuff on volume and your investment plan and those sort of things as well. So there are going to be extra courses as well, depending on which subscription I have at the time. The main one, the main one currently, you'll get all the courses. So anything new that I produce, that'll be in there as well. Why you look sober today? I don't know, probably some fresh sunlight. You know what? I don't have the bright lights on. I have natural sunlight hitting me in the face today. That's why honestly, the other times I don't look at it, it's because I have that bright ass light in my face. Near end of alt season. These are maybe. Well, I can tell you it's not. I don't think we're just getting started. That's if that helps answer your question. What are you talking about, Sandeep? Did you just arrive? No, I'm not hating on Elon. I've said all along, whether it's a tweet or a post or a bit of news, doesn't matter. Honestly, doesn't matter. We've looked at it in the chart. We can see it in the chart before it happens. The news is the news. It's for fun to understand. I love talking about it. I put it on the channel. A lot of people love to look at the news. They want to understand why. I do that because there is some interesting things to understand, yes, and people come on board and they come on board from the news, and I teach people about the charts because the charts are going to keep you stress-free. Orkan, thank you for the €5 super chat. Doge, I think I did put Doge in the title, so I will look at that quickly. And then we say Doge. First we'll do that, then we'll worry about that. Doge. Doge USD 50 cents. Lower top in, still on the 50% level and sitting on old, what was that, resistance. So it's coming as support, but I mean, if Elon Musk is slamming Bitcoin and not giving it a good light, then I would suspect probably not going to give too much to Dogecoin at this stage. It is mining as well, so I don't see the difference there. Doge BTC, lower high. It's not what you want to see. Volume dropping. Big volume on the bounce. If this doesn't get a recovery and bounce higher, I suspect we'll go lower with Doge. And because we've pumped so hard, I would say these are mostly weak hands at these levels. And if you see this start to drop, you probably drop pretty fast. What is it? You can see what it's done in the past. Up fast, down fast. Up fast, down fast. Up fast, down fast. And then it does some sideways periods of like, oh, it'll do this again. We'll go down. We'll have some accumulation. There'll be hope. It'll bounce. It won't hit highs. It'll fade again. This is a long fade. Many months. Little pump, fade. Big pump, fade. Pump, fade. Pump, fade. And then this thing just faded for years. Fade. That arrow is where I bought. Where did I sell? I think the first one. Yeah, I was selling in here. I didn't believe we'll get to this, but these levels, that's my plan. That's my plan. Solana was the other. Sold USD 46. Wow, this thing is still holding up. We peaked yesterday to a new high of $52 on huge volume. That's not the best sign because we want to actually close up there as opposed to just heavy volume and then hitting new highs and then falling back. So we'll probably go sideways a little bit more, maybe start to get some little higher lows and then eventually take off. BTC, good. See the strength on that? We actually closed above the high. So Solana BTC looking good. Sol ETH coming back. Cool. That's why I hold Solana. It's another hedge in the portfolio. Excelente. Still alt season or not? I saw that question. Look, I think we're not early in the stages of alt season. We're not early. We still have room to grow. There'll still be percentage returns. There'll still be some good percentage returns, I should say. But it's not going to be like buying in November or December of 2020, where you had thousands of percent. There'll be the odd one, but now it's getting less and less and less. So this is the later stages. And I'm not saying that is across the board of the entire bull market. I suspect we'll have some smaller gains up. We'll correct. We'll have a longer drawn out correction. Then when people aren't watching anymore, most of the people here have just come on, ask questions, and then leave again. Like you'll miss the bear market. That is just the natural way that this works. Maybe this time more people have switched onto it, and so they won't miss the bear market, and they'll just be sitting around waiting for a lower low. Hopefully that's the case, and a lot of people can get in at those prices. Low cap gem. Cancer research donations are going to allow this to grow into the people's token. I think Solana is doing a lot of good things. Aussie question, does tax time influence you choosing an exit point? Not necessarily, no. Because and this goes through whether it's American tax time, European tax time, whoever's tax time. If you've made such massive gains, I wouldn't allow that to influence what I'm doing with my cryptos. Made it. Cool, guys. Eco-friendly, safe moon thoughts. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a simple Ponzi scheme. Does that mean you won't make money? No, you probably make money on Safe Moon, but you can't get away from the fact that it's a well-designed Ponzi scheme. What website? I'm using TradingView. Your charts look confusing. Do you use the same type of charts for the course? Yes, but they're not going to have a whole ton of lines on them. They're my charts to understand what I'm doing. I'm looking at the basics, and I just keep it as a white line. Very, very simple, very clean, very simple. And I explain how and why I use the chart like that. You got a peacock in the garden, mate. That's probably Izzy crying. I reckon this new place, the sound travels so much easier through the walls. Might have to find something else in the next 6 months. Should we buy only Bitcoin now and sell alts like Sol? Well, I'm not saying to do something or not do something. I'm letting you know what I see on the charts. That's a better way to do it, because I'd rather you come to your own decisions than get your decision off someone off the internet. And then if it doesn't go right, or if I don't tell you what I'm doing next, then you don't know what you're doing. So you can see what I'm doing in the charts, what I see in terms of strength, where the strength is at the moment. And that's where I'm still playing it. Robert, thanks for the super chat. Took profits on ADA, bought for 3 cents to short ETH last night. So pretty happy here. What are your thoughts on CHR? What is CHR? I don't know. CHR. Yeah, it looks like it's sideways. Could be an accumulation zone at this point. It's not going anywhere fast at the moment. You're hating on Elon. We talked about ETH earlier in the stream. I did this maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I asked, what is a super cycle? No one could answer that. And some people said, go and check. I think it was a guy, Brett Hold, or something like that. I watched his video. He's got some good ideas on it, but no, I don't think it's not a super. There's no such thing as a super cycle. So what is the measurable factor of a super cycle? No one could answer that. The closest that something came to it was, we won't fall as much as we fell last cycle. Well, you won't know until after the fact. So it's nonsense. Super cycle's nonsense. I could be corrected. I have an open mind to it. I want to understand what it is. After I did a little bit of research, it just sounded like a good buzzword. And I think whoever came up with it really believes in it. But it isn't. You don't need to have a super cycle. You just need to follow the market. Whether one market goes higher, corrects 72%, the next time it corrects 76%, why does one need to be named super cycle and one not? Like, it really just hypes people up. I don't think whoever came up with super cycle, I don't believe that was their intention. It's a good catch buzzword to use on YouTube videos, Twitter. It's great for SEO. It sounds good. I would definitely click on a video more so when it says super cycle than just cycle. Wouldn't you? Which coin is best? I don't have my crystal ball with me at the moment. It usually sits on the table back here, but I'm lending it out. That's it. Dan held. Wasn't Brett. Dan. Elon makes us money when it dips, bro. It's our chance to buy. Yes, I agree. I talked about it at the beginning of the stream as well. So we're at hour 10. Some NOK. Thank you. Store Bean. Thank you for the 50 NOK. What is NOK? It's not Norwegian kroner? Norwegian crown? I don't know. Rune. David. Thank you for the super chat. Have you looked into Rune? I feel like no one on YouTube gives it the eyes it deserves. My biggest hold these days. with ADA right behind it. Well, I mean, of course you want it to have some eyes on Rune because you're holding a lot of it. Yes, it is. Thank you. I think Rune's a good token. From what I understand of it, friends using it, it seems like a pretty good one there. I believe it's on the Cosmos network as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Reza, I caught your comment. Real peacock is your nose. It is a big nose. I know that. Purchase. I wouldn't buy stocks like that. So just volatile on the sake of Bitcoin. It's dropped. MicroStrategy stocks dropped so much. I'll look at MicroStrategy and Coinbase and then chill. Should I do another video today after this? Coin, $258. She is down. I suspect if that is the range that I'm looking for, we had a bigger bounce out, but we're back here. All right, so if this keeps going down, 233 is one target. Come on, we can't get to 159. That would be crazy. Let's see if we get to 230s first. 230s on Coinbase. And then MicroStrategy is down. It's down at $500 from a peak of $1,300. Junk. Oh, look, I'm just being a bit harsh on it. It's not that bad. It's volatile with the price of Bitcoin. It's down 60%, and Bitcoin is not down 60% from its high. So it overran the mark, and now it will, and then it will be oversold. MicroStrategy is still going down. I can almost guarantee that this thing will hit into the $300, unless we see some big volume spike out of here. I would say that we are definitely heading towards something in the $300. Yeah. Because even while Bitcoin was going up, nothing much happened to MicroStrategy. I knew it that you have a crystal ball. Yeah, I hire it out. People pay good money for that crystal ball. All right, go back and check out the stream. I talk about specifically what my thoughts are on looking at price targets by specific dates. It's in the stream. Would you consider taking monthly payment for your mentorship instead of yearly only? I'm working on this at the moment. Yes, it's going to be a slightly different structure in that case. And no, it's not one-on-one. For the small price that it is not one-on-one, and it's not like, I'm there with you all the way. I've got the course there, and you can ask questions on the course. And yes, we have a group as well. So I go live in the group. Don't we expect to get small coins after alt season before turning to Bitcoin? Sorry, thank you for the super chat. I don't really understand the question. I have to catch the full reply. Thoughts on these big companies dumping BTC at top selling? Great show. Thank you very much. I don't think there's many companies that are going to be dumping, especially after they've talked about dumping. Why would they then dump into the market? Litecoin, the lagger of all cryptocurrency. It only goes up because Bitcoin goes up. This is all it has done this entire bull market from April to now. 6 weeks. Give it 7 weeks. That's it. It's moved 100% against Bitcoin. That is it. Litecoin USD. It's a thorn in our side. I mean, look, it's at double topped at all-time highs. I'm not saying that it won't get through. It'd probably get through its all-time high against dollar value, but it just lags so hard on Bitcoin value. It's hard to get excited about it. LTC, Ethereum, terrible. Still losing ground. It's at all-time lows. All-time lows? Yeah. at least on Bittrex chart, which goes all the way back to mid-2017. There's probably more data to it, but on here, this is as low it has ever been. You're better off holding Ethereum than Litecoin from that chart. Tim Dunn, thank you for the super chat. I'm just checking to see if you had a question. Oh, here we go. I know what you're saying. What's your plan? But do you think holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano for 10 years would be a good idea? You know what my answer is? What's your plan? Like, why? Why would you hold those? Why are you buying crypto in the first place? Because you want to make more money. I get that. But how much, like, what do you want to make? Why do you want to make it? Why are those coins? Long, and look, that's the long answer so that you get a bit better idea. Short answer is probably. At least that's my strategy, because I think they're going to be better assets to hold than stocks, or easier to hold than real estate. Have you done that already? Like button should be there, I think, if I'm looking at the right section of the screen. Like, share it around, put it on Twitter, share it over Twitter, subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon, free newsletter down below. Follow that, put your email address in there. What else have I got? Instagram, I'll see you over there now. Twitter, I'll see you over there now. Newsletter, SwiftX, Blockfolio, all the links to those are down below. You can trade on SwiftX. It's got a demo portfolio. It has a mobile app, Blockfolio, I use to track my portfolios, and you can also trade on it too. It's an easy beginner trading app. Yeah, that's about it I've got here. In terms of the course, you guys, I've mentioned a few times. The core, interested in joining your course, does it help with day trading? I don't do day trading, so I'm not looking at stuff on the 15-minute chart, hourly chart. And that's another job entirely, and the majority of people will lose on that. Did someone just say Elon sold Bitcoin? I don't see that happening in the charts yet. The charts, no. Cool, guys. I'll jump back on probably sometime when the market goes nuts again, but I've got more videos. Go and check out the videos. We've got Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all in those videos there. Like the video up. I'll see you guys at the next one. This is a good live stream. Thank you very much for your time, attention, support. 150,000 subs. Let's go for 200,000. All right. Good night from London. Good morning from Australia. Catch you guys at the next one. Until then, have more fun.